everyone. I'm Natalia Bilbao, and here's what's happening in LA this week. Mayor Eric Garcetti and Council President Nury Martinez were among the many city officials that jointly announced the finding of a study from the Los Angeles Department of Transportation. It's entitled Changing Lanes, a Gender Equity Transportation Study, and is the city's first effort to identify barriers and strategies to improve access to public transportation for women. The event posted quite a lineup. Check this out.
We can't see where our public transit falls short in meeting riders' needs if we don't understand what those needs are, which is why today is so important. You can't manage what you don't measure. Or said another way, if you're not looking for it, you won't see it.
That is why the Department of Transportation's Gender Equity and Transportation Study is so important. Because in the neighborhoods that I represent, walking to your destination is not always an option for you. They must rely on public transportation. We're the ones carrying the bags of groceries, riding with our children, and running errands, and that's just during the day.
If you have a 9-to-5 white-collar job, the system works for you. But it doesn't work for you if you have small children with you and bags to carry, and if you don't have the funds available to access all of the transit options that wealthier folks have.
What was really well documented in the Changing Lanes report, it is the BIPOC community, my community, that is most impacted and can benefit from transportation when it's done right.
Better bus stops, better lighting, better times, better access, better routes. For me, for the community of Watts, for us mothers, it'll open up doors for us and our children.
LA DOT's Changing Lanes study puts women at the very forefront. We have to make these kinds of investments if we hope to build infrastructure that is truly equitable and gender-free. As the new chair of the Metro Board of Directors, my top priority this year is to make Metro better.
It's our responsibility to do better, to take care of everyone, particularly our most vulnerable populations.
Councilmember Marqueece HARRIS-DAWSON helped open a new supportive housing project in Council District 8. The council member announced his partnership with the organizations Flyaway Homes and the people concerned more than a year ago. And the fruits of that collaboration are now ready for residents.
Today we're at Flyaway Homes. We're opening up over a dozen new units right here on 82nd and Hoover in the community. This is a place that used to house a single-family residence, and now we can move multiple families into this space and get people off the street.
Each unit here is made up of 3 containers that have been converted into a unit. So they're standard shipping containers, single-use or non-use containers that have been converted here. Our future projects will be a combination of wood and/or steel modules, which will be custom built in the factory.
Every individual tenant here will have a lease. These are 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartments. And so every family who lives here, this will be a permanent home for them.
Entonces los servicios que conectamos a personas, a diferentes médicos, también conectamos a las personas a diferentes oportunidades dentro de la comunidad para que se sientan más cómodos.
I became homeless probably 4 years ago. Circumstances, anywhere from losing a job to relate my relationship. What this place means to me just tells people that you have hope,
There are hundreds, even thousands of people working hard every day, from the folks who go out to encampments every morning to try to get people into housing as housing is available, to the folks here at Flyaway Homes or who are plugging away, who got this done during the pandemic. And so I think Angelenos ought to know that their neighbors are out there pushing as hard as they can to end the crisis that we have with homelessness in our city.
The Los Angeles Convention Center is celebrating its 50th anniversary this year, and in recognition of this cherished LA landmark's birthday, Mayor Eric Garcetti dropped by for a tour of the event currently gracing its hallowed halls, the 2021 LA Art Show.
Welcome to the 50th anniversary celebration of the Los Angeles Convention Center.
We're celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Los Angeles Convention Center. And the second thing is we're celebrating the opening of our first large-scale event, the LA Art Show.
The fact that this building has been here for 50 years is a real testament to the department, the great folks that put on events and conventions for the past 50 years, and we thought it was important to celebrate that.
Me encantaba trabajar aquí, por eso quedé aquí por muchos años. Era como una familia.
The convention center really serves as the economic driver for the downtown and even spills out over past downtown, because what we do is we bring in visitors from out of town who come here and they spend dollars here in the city. So they come, they spend their money, and they go home.
In fact, in 2019, this industry generated $23.6 billion in business sales here in Los Angeles and supported over 100,000 jobs. That's what this building has helped create.
We're excited to have the art show back. It's a beautiful event. Their exhibitors are excited to show their art, and we're happy to have them here. It's contemporary art and very exciting. They've got some cutting edge things that they're showcasing in their shows. And the mayor's going to be here.
See, this convention center and I both celebrated 50th birthdays this year. 1971, when I think about how this city has changed since I was born here. This center laid the groundwork for jobs and careers and families and stories, the way that that's changed our city and changed our world. Thank you all so much, and let's celebrate the next 5 decades.
A small pocket of Chinatown just got a little more charming. Councilmember Gil Cedillo and LA City engineer Gary Lee Moore helped cut the ribbon at the Orrid and Yale Park expansion, one of LA's newest city pocket parks.
Welcome to the new opening of the Orrid and Yale Street Park. Almost 40,000 square feet. So we hope you all enjoy this new park for Los Angeles.
While it might be small for some in size, it is very big in character and in heart.
Tengo mucho orgullo que estoy aquí mañana. Es un proyecto, trabajan 10 años. Es un proyecto de muy personal para mí y también por mi distrito. Here, a few feet away from here, 150 years ago, Chinese men were lynched here in Los Angeles. And so we think it's important that people's history is remembered, but that we look forward with determination and optimism, and that we build community and we respect other people's communities and embrace that diversity as a strength and an asset of this city and of this district.
Through the years, this community has not only felt the pain of discrimination and exclusion, but the pride of perseverance and success.
It is so challenging to find the funding for all these projects that we want to do. It's about partnerships. The city, the county, the state, all working together.
So it's incredible to see so many young people here, so many children of this community now have a place where they can come play.
Since the beginning of the pandemic, St. John's Well Child and Family Center has been at the forefront of bringing medical services to lower-income communities. And recently, the organization held a community vaccination event to highlight a new campaign aiming to encourage South LA residents to receive the COVID-19 vaccine. Here's that story.
There's a lot of concern about the Delta variant and the increased numbers we're seeing of infections. 84% of cases right now are Delta variant. It's twice as contagious as the previous dominant strain, which was the Alpha variant. So with the Alpha variant, if you caught COVID, you could infect 3 to 4 people. With the Delta variant, if you catch COVID, you could infect 8 to 9 people. So it's literally twice as contagious as the previous variant. A lot of the cases that are happening are actually people that are not vaccinated that are ending up in the hospital. And so our hope is that people will start taking it serious. We've been walking this neighborhood for the last 2.5 weeks. We engaged 31 businesses. We also had a team of outreach workers that has been going out since early this week.
Pues los invito a que vengan, ya que no es muy complicado a la hora de no tener algún documento, y pues les recomiendo de que puedan venir a esta instalación para ponerse la inyección, que es muy importante para todos nosotros.
We're urging people that can get vaccinated to get vaccinated, and people that cannot get vaccinated to continue wearing a mask to avoid contagion. They could call our hotline, 877-612-8299, and schedule an appointment at any of our clinics. We have 18 brick and mortar clinics that are actually administering vaccines. Hopefully people will get vaccinated.
City leaders push vaccinations to combat the Delta variant. New bus shelters are being displayed throughout Los Angeles, and Mayor Garcetti signs a new ordinance restricting homeless encampments. These stories up next on CityWide.
In an effort to stop the spread of the COVID-19 Delta variant, Mayor Eric Garcetti and Council President Nury Martinez held a special press conference urging Angelenos to get vaccinated. The number of COVID cases in July rose sharply, and hospitalizations were the highest they've been since February of this year. The Delta variant is now the dominant strain of COVID in Los Angeles and spreads approximately twice as easily as the original virus. To get more information on vaccinations, you can visit coronavirus.lacity.org. The Los Angeles Bureau of Street Services, also known as Streets LA, offer the general public an opportunity to experience and give feedback on the proposed new bus shelters. Demonstrations were made available to Angelenos in 6 different regions of Los Angeles. The demonstrations come in conjunction with preparations to implement a new and updated sidewalk and transit amenities program, currently known as STAP, to provide shelter, shade, safety, and comfort to transit riders and pedestrians while incorporating smart technology to provide timely information to travelers. To find out more about STAP, visit streetsla.lacity.org. Mayor Eric Garcetti signed a sweeping ordinance to restrict homeless encampments. The mayor approved the ordinance one day after the city council voted 13-2 to pass the new law. This action modifies the city's current anti-camping law to prohibit sitting, sleeping, lying, storing personal property, or otherwise obstructing the public right-of-way in several areas of the city. The new law will also protect right-of-way within 500 feet of areas deemed as sensitive facilities, schools, daycare facilities, parks, and libraries. The ordinance will go into effect August 28th.
When it comes to workplace violence, there are many factors that can be the trigger. Stress, fractions between coworkers that escalate, or disgruntled customers, to name a few. But most experts agree that companies that recognize the potential for workplace violence are the ones best positioned to prevent it. Maria Hallbrown sits down with medical experts Dr. Laura Kokinda and Dr. Maura Kane to discuss workplace violence and what you should do when you see warning signs.
Well, OSHA has reported that workplace violence incidents have actually tripled in the last decade. What does that mean? What can we do, and what should we be looking for? Well, I'm delighted to be joined by experts today that can help us with all of those questions. I think the most important thing to do, first off, is to define workplace violence. I mean, where that line is and what the different types are when you are feeling as if there's some threat within the workplace.
So it's a little bit of a complicated definition when you look at it. Generally, the official definition is a threat or actually any sort of assaultive behavior, but also a series of behaviors can indicate workplace violence. So if you have obviously an assault or a threat of an assault or series of behaviors of inappropriate behavior or harassment, things like that, that constitutes the threat part, but it also has to have a nexus to the workplace.
What are some of the indicators Somebody is constantly angry, somebody is always complaining, somebody is, I mean, what are some of the things we should be looking for directly and indirectly?
All of those things can be indicators. I think one thing that I've noticed is if someone really stands out from the group, maybe they're complaining more, or maybe they're withdrawing quite a bit. That's another thing that could be concerning, or behavioral changes that are observable, where someone's setting themselves apart. Maybe they're more isolative, maybe they're a little more erratic in their behavior.
Yeah, anytime there's a change in behavior, because all of us are different. So we have the people that are withdrawn by nature, or the people that are complainers by nature. But when you see a change in their behavior, so they're withdrawn and now they're loud and they're irritable. And so anytime there's a change in behavior, you want to ask why.
I think one of the best things for de-escalation is to just try to separate, take a time out. Time is really helpful.
Recompose yourself and walk away will do wonders.
The LA Education Recovery Fund, Los Angeles Unified, the LA Sports Council, and the Rams are just a few of the organizations that have banded together to bring some sports, fun, and excitement to LA kids. Channel 35 was on hand to get an up-close look at how outside sports can lead to health and opportunity for SoCal kids.
LA Unified decided for the first time ever to open up every single one of its Title I elementary and middle schools.
Students now have access to free summer programs in their neighborhoods. Through this groundbreaking partnership, our students not only receive a clinic and sports team appearances, but they also know through programs like this that we as a community are behind them 100%.
The academic recovery is crucial, full stop. But our kids have also been robbed of a year of their childhood, and that's just as important to compensate for, if not more.
People want to help right now, and the LA Education Recovery Fund said we got to do it together. So we reached out to the school district, and LA Unified decided to run summer camps all over the city. And then we said, but we can do more. Let's bring awesome programming to our kids. And we talked to LA Sports Council and said, can we get our teams to step up in a big way? And the Rams said yes, and the Dodgers said yes, and the Galaxy said yes, and the Chargers said yes, and the Kings said yes. And it just shows Angelinos coming together for our kids and helping our kids at this time where they need us to step up for them to get ready to thrive for the future.
So we're excited to host this clinic, to support our youth, to teach them some football skills. Our cheerleaders are going to teach them how to dance, and together we're all going to come together because we're better when we stand as one.
Thank you for enriching the lives of our students. We know that they are our future, and we see in them just the promise of what their languages, their histories, their trajectories have to offer for our city, and always do and always have. And so enriching their summer in this way, I think, really adds to their experiences.
Ahora estamos en una etapa de reentrar a un normal nuevo y necesitamos de proveer a los estudiantes muchas oportunidades que ellos puedan estar trabajando y colaborando con otros niños. Y lo que está pasando aquí con esta colaboración.
Me gusta estar y hablar con mis compañeros y estoy muy feliz cuando hablo con ellos. Ahorita estamos aprendiendo a jugar fútbol americano y muchas otras cosas que le encantan a los niños.
LAEducationRecoveryFund.org. Go there, find out how to get involved. Our kids need all of us to step up right now. It was a tough yesterday, but it's a bright tomorrow, and we can do big for them if we step up for them. And they always, always respond when we do step up for them.
Speaking of LA's kids, Councilmember Mark Ridley Thomas recently brought families of Leimert Park together for an open-air screening of Space Jam: A New Legacy. The event was also a chance for local small businesses to connect with and support the community at large.
Well, this is a continuing effort to activate and elevate the Leimert Park Plaza, family-friendly And what better way to celebrate art and culture here in this community than to invite the community to participate in a screening of Space Jam 2. And so we activated this park on Juneteenth. And we continue to say that good things are happening, music, fun, art festival, all of that right here in the Leimert Park Village, and it's a good thing.
Events like this are important for the community, especially now because we have not had the opportunity to get together, to see our neighbors, to feel part of the community. The park has been closed for a while. There are a lot of new people who are in the neighborhood, in the business community, and this is an opportunity for us to see each other, to get to know each other, to do something that's family-oriented and fun at a time where we need it, to celebrate the summer and to really just show what we have to offer as a community.
Right here in the Leimert Park Plaza, we have had vaccinations, and we will have more opportunities for that. If you aren't vaccinated, our message to you is to get your vaccine. Don't give away your shot. We don't want to cause others to be sick. Well over a couple of hundred people tonight just enjoying the outdoors, and that's what community is. When we speak of community, we think of the arts, we think about culture, we think about all of the small businesses and the vendors in this space, the merchants that are essentially trying to do what needs to be done to celebrate the community in a proper way.
Attention, pet owners. Summertime may be all fun and games for us humans, but it could also be a dangerous and unhealthy season for your animals. LA Animal Services dropped by the Channel 35 studio to offer some handy advice when it comes to helping your furry family members beat the summer heat. Take a look.
During the hot summer months, the best time to take your dog for a walk is in the morning when it's cool or at night after the sun's gone. If it's too hot outside, your dog's paws can get burned, they can get heat stroke. It's better just to wait until it's safer to take them outside. To tell if your pet has been dehydrated or is overheating, they will be breathing heavily, they'll be acting distressed, they may have trouble swallowing water. What you can do when your pet may be overheating or dehydrated is first try to give them some water. If they're unable to drink it, you can apply wet towels or ice packs wrapped in towels, back of their head, between their back legs, and after you've cooled them down a little bit, take them to the veterinarian immediately. Some of the biggest misconceptions about pets in the summer heat are that you can just leave them outside and they'll be fine, or that you can leave them in the car with the window cracked and they'll be okay. That's also not safe. The car can heat up drastically while they're in there, even with the window cracked. To learn more about different safety tips and different animal services that we provide, you can visit laanimalservices.com. Just use your best judgment, follow our safety tips, and if it's too hot for you, it's definitely too hot for them.
Mother Teresa was once quoted as saying, "The simple path, silence is prayer. Prayer is faith. Faith is love. Love is service. The fruit of service is peace." That small prayer is a fitting introduction to our featured story this week. Channel 35's Maria Hall-Brown has an intimate conversation with Los Angeles Police Chief Michael Moore, who shares the personal burdens and professional challenges of leading LA's 21st century police force.
Well, almost 9,500 sworn personnel, almost 3,000 civilian personnel, and the man at the helm for the last 3 years has been Chief Michael Moore. It's so nice to be in your office.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for being here, and it's a great opportunity.
What are some of the changes that have happened since you've been at the helm, and what are some of the things that you walked into and you realized these are good foundational things that we need to keep in place?
We're in good shape. I inherited a department that was reform-minded. It was referenced in the then President Obama's 21st century policing reforms, and the pillars that were there, showcased what LAPD was doing for building trust in communities, for community engagement, for being problem solvers, but recognizing that we have a shared responsibility for public safety, and that also on the enforcement, that it was smart, that it was focused, it was data informed. So that's what I inherited. So we set on a course of continued reform and continued work to lessen the instances of use of force, particularly deadly force, to improve our efforts of dealing with persons experiencing mental illness, to really be a part of the solution for persons experiencing homelessness, both for providing them services and support, but also improving the safety and the sense of safety of communities in which these homeless encampments and persons who are living in public places that they're wrestling with.
It can't be easy to be an officer.
It is. This is one of the most difficult periods of time. It's unfair, it's not right to hear people express hate and just tremendous anger, and to center it on individuals, to center it on a profession of service, deeply disturbing. So this is brand new ground, and we've seen the calls to our psychologists and our peer support, our clergy, go through the roof. And it sets the stage for who's coming to, how fertile is the ground for people to come to this profession. It signals that, this is not an automatic that people want to be cops, that they want to get into this turmoil and face a very turbulent existence, and to be criticized and to have their families criticized and to have their families face open ridicule in public places, in schools, and in churches, and in houses of worship, and other places. So with that, though, we've got to take a step back and take a deep breath and build with them, that remind them of why they chose this profession. Remind them of why it matters. There are 4 million people in the city, and they depend on this department. We're an organization committed to the people of the city, and we're going to show them why this is the greatest department in American policing. Thank you for this opportunity.
Well, thank you very much, Chief Moore.
Absolutely.
The LA Public Library brings the Mosquito SWAT Lab to kids of all ages. Enjoy the virtual experience of the 2021 Nisei Week Japanese Festival, or stream along with a great discussion as actress Jane Russell's legacy turns 100. All this and more up next on Things to Do.
The Granada Hills Branch Library would like to invite kids of all ages to the Mosquito SWAT Lab. Using problem-solving and scientific reasoning skills, students will explore the complexity of the mosquito anatomy, life, and disease transmission cycles. Through stimulating hands-on curriculum, students will dive into the amazing world of the most deadly animal on the planet. Don't miss a virtual mosquito program for all ages, happening Thursday, August 12th, beginning at 3 p.m. To participate, email grnhls@lapl.org for the program link. Join LA's vibrant Japanese community for the 2021 Nisei Week Japanese Festival. This year, the festival will be a virtual experience featuring a mix of live streaming and pre-recorded segments. This year's theme is ibasho, which is a Japanese word that means a place to belong. Join online for the announcement of the Nisei Week Queen and Court, as well as live performances and oban dancing. Check out the Nisei Week virtual experience Saturday, August 14th at 3 p.m. For more information, visit niseiweek.org. The LA-made cultural series for the Los Angeles Public Library brings you the Jane Russell 100-Year Centennial. Join Christina Rice, Senior Librarian of the LAPL Photo Collection, for a discussion on her newly published biography on Jane Russell entitled Mean, Moody, Magnificent, Jane Russell and the Marketing of a Hollywood Legend. LA Made's Jane Russell 100-Year Centennial premieres Thursday, August 12th, beginning at 4 p.m. For more information, visit lapl.org/events. And that's a look at some virtual things to do.
And that's it for this edition. I am Natalia Bilbao, and from all of us here at LA This Week, thank you so much for joining us. A reminder that you can catch us online at lacitywide.org, and we're also on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. See you next time for more LA This Week.